Hello Tarot fans, and welcome to another edition of Blue Sicx Tarot with your fantastic host Blue Sicx. Thank you very much for watching. Now, it has been a hot minute since my last video, at least 3 months since the last one. Unfortunately, I've just had a lot going on at the moment, so I haven't really been able to actually sit down and actually work on any videos, unfortunately. But I recently decided to purchase myself a new deck for you guys, so we can all sit back and enjoy a lovely unboxing video with now one of your favourite parts, the intro. So today we'll be taking a look at the Archangel Power Tarot cards. So this is a deck I've been seeing around in a lot of bookstores for the past like 8 years. Now, it's not really a sort of deck that I tend to be drawn to. I find angels kind of interesting, but when it comes to tarot and more oracle, I'm not as big a fan of them because they do tend to be kind of the same. You know, you're not getting your biblical style angels with wheels within wheels covered in eyes and wings and on fire via the Divine Comedy. But yeah, this has been around for a while and I just thought, why not? I'll give it a look. I've not done an unboxing for a while. So this is brought to you by Hay House. As I said, it's a type of deck you tend to see more in bookshops. And so first of all, we'll do the tape measure test. So we are looking at 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters by 4 inches or 10 centimeters. And so now with the magical power of editing, we'll be removing the foil. Here we go, seamless. Right, so once again, it is the kind of box within a box slidey case. So that's kind of more their standard. On the back, it shows that it's the type of deck that has the names of the card, the specific angel, and a description underneath. So this is more of a deck for beginners. However, the box being the size that it is, if you tend to have smaller hands, it might not be an easy deck to shuffle. Although, in regards to the box itself, I don't necessarily think it's particularly stands out that much design wise, so it's not necessarily something that jumps out on like a bookshelf or anything. So take a quick look at the guide. Pretty much standard fare, quite a thick book. I'll just jump straight to 14, which says change your life. So this would be the Tower. So the book itself seems to just be 2 pages per card, but also very large print, which I quite appreciate. But yeah, just the nothing really particularly special. We'll see if it has any layouts and spreads. It doesn't. It just has descriptions. So it describes certain spreads, but it doesn't actually show. So the first spread it shows you is the Celtic cross. And that's about it. It does describe other card layouts, but not actually show any visuals. So now onto the cards themselves. So first, just gonna have to get the knife just quickly. Kids, don't try this at home. Get an adult. There we go. The back of the cards, I'm not a fan of. I don't think it looks particularly nice. Now these are kind of gloss, as you might be able to tell, a bit shiny and gloss. So these would be smooth to shuffle, but it depends on if you like gloss or not, really. So this is more of a gloss sort of deck. I don't think the back looks particularly nice. I'm not quite fond of the kind of photorealism with computer generated artwork over the top, but that's just more of a personal taste. So it appears that each card has its own corresponding colour, depending on the suit, but we'll get onto that. So first of all, we have the Fool, which is called Leap of Faith. I think it's kind of cool. So obviously I'm not going to read all of the cards, otherwise we'll be here for ages and my dyslexia will make this trickier for me. So then we've got the Magician. Oh, actually, I didn't really go into detail about the Fool here. So also you've got an angel behind them with the sheepdog. The dog that Lassie was. I don't really know that. I'm not really good with dog breeds. Next we've got the Magician. So you've got an angel behind them and a nice spectrum of colours there. Oh, and it looks like it has a corresponding angel, which I think is kind of cool. And obviously you've got your description underneath. Next we have the High Priestess, being an angel herself. Still got the two pillars. Got the moon there, but not really the sun on the other side. But that's kind of okay. Then we have the Empress. Yeah, so we have the Empress here. She doesn't really look much like the Empress. She does look more like the Judgment card with the horn there, but there is a thing with the deer and a heart in the corner there, so it does kind of more imply anything else. Next we have the Emperor sitting on the throne. It's quite zoomed out, so that does feel more like just to compensate for the wings, but he doesn't really give off the Emperor vibe to me personally. Now we have the Divine Guidance. So we still have them as a Pope, as for the Hierophant, and at the bottom we've got different religions at the bottom there. I don't actually know which specific religion the middle one is. I probably should know at this point. But yeah, that's kind of cool that you've got different religions underneath. That's quite nice. Next we have the Lovers, and I guess it feels very typical of the Lovers, with a man, a woman and an angel above them, although they are quite in a nice embrace. Although the thing I've noticed so far that I'm kind of appreciating is the artwork still looks quite nice. It doesn't look as when they have like photorealistic faces, it does, for me, it does tend to spoil kind of how they look to me, but these seem to be fine at the moment. Next we have the Chariot. So it looks like they've got the macabre, not the macabre, yeah, maybe the macabre in the, not the macabre, that's not the right word, it's something else. The word will come to me at some point, but I like the fact they're unicorns. Yeah, it has the kind of, it's also the Metatron. It does have the kind of standard feel to the Chariot. Nothing really special about that. Then you've got Justice weighing 2 orbs, which I think is interesting. The positive, the negative and the positive by the looks of it, but it's okay. I do like the look of that. As I said, the artwork feels quite thematically consistent. The reason I bring that up is because with what looks like the Strength card at the front of the box, it does feel like the artwork would be kind of jarring, but no, this seems to work quite nice. I'm not going to try and read that, but yeah, so we've got we've got the Hermit here, but yeah, I'm not going to try and read that, but yeah, so just the winged hermit, which I think, well, is more on theme than anything else, but it looks pretty cool. Then you've got the wheel, more just a wheel from a wind, from a mill. So I don't really feel that there has a lot of. I think that's kind of a bit lazy. As I said, I'm not going to read the descriptions, otherwise we'll be here for ages. But just from the look, it just feels like it's a bit of a. We're not quite sure how to do with it, so we'll just do this. So we've got Strength. So this is what I was talking about earlier. So the Strength card, this is where it kind of where the artwork feels a bit jarring. Where you've got a photorealistic face around CGI and general artwork. So this one works in the theming, but this different art, the combination of art pieces to this, I'm not a big fan of. But you know it's the Strength card at least. So now you've got the Hanged Man. So this one's just called Perspective. which I think is quite nice. It is quite apt to how the Hanged Man is. I like the fact it's a circus stop there. It's pretty cool. I do like how he looks with his wings and his attire there. So for the death card we have peace. Yeah, I had a feeling that this deck wouldn't necessarily commit to calling it the death card. Next we have solutions. Not quite how I would, not what I would call temperance, because that feels more like a card of making things evenly balanced. Then we have deception. Okay, yeah, because you're not going to call it the devil, but I do like that. I like that they were going to change it, and I like the fact they've kind of changed it this way. It's a good move, I feel. Oh, well, it looks quite good for that one as well. Then you've got choose your life, change your life. So though this would be the tower, usually a collapsing tower, but I do like this kind of fantasy building in the background there, and kind of all of the stuff there. That looks quite cool. I do quite rate. I rate that. And you've got the star, kind of standard. The angel looks pretty cool. Nice dress, nice background. It looks quite nice. It's very lovely, very peaceful. So then we have the moon. I don't really know why it's a chihuahua and a raccoon. Although you do have the two towers at the top, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know why they chose like a white Pomeranian and a raccoon. I feel that's a bit weird. That's just my, once again, personal taste. Next we have the sun. So on a winged unicorn. Fair enough, I guess. Not a massive fan of unicorns, although I do have the Unicorn Oracle, which is a pretty cool deck. But yeah, it doesn't feel like it's as bright as it could be, I guess. It feels like there's a bit too many shadows in this for my liking. So then you've got New Beginnings, which is the Judgment card. Feels very standard for a Judgment card. Although I like the fact that everyone's kind of the fact that the people are silhouetted, holding hand in hand, is pretty nice, and the fact they're on mountains, that's kind of cool. Then you've got the World, with that doesn't necessarily feel like it's the World card. It doesn't really draw much to me. This feels like Angel Warrior, Archangel Michael. Yeah, that doesn't really feel like it's the World as we see it in tarot. So now we have the Ace of Gabriel. So I believe this is going to be wands. So you've got orange, green, blue, and pink. So I'm going to assume this is supposed to be wands. Once again, I like the fact it's kind of like eagle patterned wings. The angel here, that's pretty cool. So it looks like that's going to be the throughout, so it's going to be the same angel. So you've got just two of wands. So I'm just going to call them wands until I find something that tells me otherwise. So these are two of wands. Just two people walking apart. Now this is kind of the art here feels a bit off to me. Not a fan. Then we've got the three. This feels a bit closer to the traditional, where you've got the person just kind of looking out at sea from the boat, so that has a similar sort of feel to it. Then you've got the four. Now Gabriel here just feels out of place, like they're just like, hey, I'm here as well, kind of detracting from what's actually going on here. Do you like the purple though? Then you've got the five. I can't quite see properly from my vantage point. I don't really get a five of wands sort of feel from this one personally. This feels a bit bland, I guess. I mean, it's quite well decorated, but nothing's really happening in this one. And we've got the six. Once again, Gabriel just feels really out of place, and with the standard six of wands, it's used like a parade. And it just feels really weird that there's just no one there at all, and it's just like coming into an empty town. That just feels strange. Then you've got your 7. That's pretty cool. I like the purple. I like the colours in the sky. I liked the winged Pegasus. Although technically Pegasus is an individual, not a species, as far as I understand it. Pegasus is a specific character rather than just a species of horse, at least as far as I know, I'm aware of in Greek mythology. Anyway, that looks pretty good. So then you've got the 8 of Wands, which pretty much has the same feeling as the 7, but different birds, and a variety of birds. But still, Gabriel just feels a bit out of place there. We've got the 9. That just looks strange. Gabriel looks once again out of place, and his face with the body and the art style just feels a bit uncanny to me. And then we have the 10. Gabriel just chilling in the background. Nothing really feels much like there's anything going on with this 10. 10 tends to be like a struggle and a burden and a lot of stuff going on that you can't really deal with, whilst nothing's really there, she's just there, and anything else feels implicit. So now I've got the Page of Gabriel. Sounds weird. Once again, just chilling there, not really doing anything. His face once again looks a bit uncanny. Yeah, Gabriel just feels like a bit of a distraction. But yeah, it doesn't know. I'm not feeling much on this page. Next we have the Knight. Nothing really going on there. Not a lot happening. Once again, they're in a desert on a horse. Cool. It doesn't really seem like you can draw much from what they're wearing, how they look, or how they're even postured. They're just there. So's Gabriel. Next we have the Queen. Now this Queen feels a bit more like a queen than the rest of the court cards so far. I hope the rest are kind of like this, but yeah, this does feel like a strong Queen of Wands. Nice throne, the cat, the banners. This feels closer to a tarot card than some of the others. Getting the same sort of vibe from the King. Does have a nice rich merchant sort of look to him. I'm good with this King. I like this King. So we've got Ace of Raphael. So it looks like this is the cups. Raphael just chilling there. So we've got the 2. You've got the Caduceus at the bottom, and 2 people holding the sunset. Now that one's quite nice. I quite like this one. And like Raphael's just not like standing in the background like the commentator for Mortal Kombat, where he just like pokes his head out from the side. He's actually leaving them alone. So you've got the 3. Once again, the faces with the bodies feels a bit uncanny. But once again, you've got the Caduceus at the back, but you don't have Raphael just like hanging around in the background. Although that would have a kind of creeper sort of feel to him if he's chilling around 3 mermaids. He's back in this one. Yay. Yeah, so you've got the 4 of Cups. It doesn't necessarily have the same. Sorry, just have a quick look. So you've got this bit here, and I don't know if that's him supposed to be handing it to the woman there. It's close, but not. To me, it's close to the 4, but not quite. Just a little bit off. So next we have the 5 of Cups. Doesn't have the same vibe. Again, it's just kind of. I know what they're going for with like the presence at the bottom, but it doesn't have the same weight as a standard 5. Then we've got the 6. Just a kid and a mermaid. Not a lot going there. Doesn't feel like once again, it doesn't feel like a standard 6. Just feels just like sod it. We'll just do this. That'll do. some of these cards do feel like, this is enough, this will do, this is all we need to do. 7, that feels kind of lazy, if I'm honest. You've got your 7 colours to pick, but there's nothing else going on. This also just kind of feels a bit lazy. The artwork's nice, but for the meaning of the card, this just feels like they didn't really bother. Next we've got the 8. Similar thing here. It's usually like someone walking off into the mountains. This is just someone being guided to the forest. There's not as much, doesn't feel that the message is still here, but it does not feel that there's any weight to it. 9, okay, I don't know, he doesn't feel content. He still wants more, but it doesn't look like he has it. So my friends and I usually refer to the 9 of Cups as the smug git card. He doesn't look like it, because he's smug git, because he's kind of got all that he needs, but he doesn't look like he has anything outside of his dog and his clothes. So it doesn't feel like he wants more, even though he has enough. It doesn't feel like he has anything anyway. So that doesn't quite land for me there. Then we've got the 10. That's okay, that's a standard 10. I'll go with that one. A bit of a smaller rainbow than I'd like. I like big rainbows. But yeah, it works. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, when you consider the rest, when I've been considering the rest of the deck, it's okay. It could be better, but this is probably once again a card that feels a lot closer than most of the others. So we've got the Page. This doesn't feel like it invokes CHARIOT. So you've got, I'm just going to read the top here. So it says gentle, loving, dreamy, and open-hearted. This card doesn't feel like it gives off any of those. If these weren't written there, you wouldn't. I doubt you'd really get that from this picture. I'm sorry. Okay, now we've got the Knight. Okay, he works. Shining armour, really glistening armour, white horse by the sea. Once this is a lot closer than some of the others. You can kind of get something from this one. In our group, it was usually considered that the Knight of Cups has a nice shiny armour, but then he's also probably not been into battle, and he cares more about how his armour looks than whether it's used or not. So it does give off that sort of look, so that's fine. That's fine with me. So we've got the Queen. Feels a bit uncanny again. She, I don't know. This doesn't quite feel right to me, personally. King, no, it doesn't feel as bad, but I guess once again, RAPHAEL takes up half the space. So it doesn't feel like there's as much strong focus on the King. There's a lot more you could kind of give the King here, but half of the picture is RAPHAEL. Doesn't really work for me. So next we have Ace of Michael, who is swords. Top of a mountain there. So we have 2 unicorns. For the 2 of swords. Doesn't quite fit, but I see what you're going for. Once again, you could probably have done a bit more focus on the unicorns rather than the sky, but once again, that's just me. 3 of swords. Let's go quick look, because I can't really quite see it from my angle. That doesn't really feel like the standard. It does have that kind of, as I'm not reading the bottom here, but yeah, it doesn't feel like the stand. You can kind of see the person's upset, but that's just more, but he's there to support. So once again, the weight of that card doesn't feel as impactful. Okay, so we've now got the 4. That just doesn't work for me. It's because it's about taking rest, taking time out traditionally. So the fact that there just lights up in the sky and this person's just like napping, that just feels a bit weird. Doesn't quite fit to me. We've got the 5 of swords. This is nothing. This is just him chilling on a mountain, looking at a sunset. That does not. Once again, if you were told that was a tarot card, you couldn't guess what you could not guess what card that's supposed to be. 6. That's just the same pose from earlier. but he's on a weird looking boat. Once again, he doesn't. He and the boat and the dog don't look like they're supposed to be in the same picture. Same with the oceans. They all look like they're bits of artwork from different places all put on one piece. Although you can tell it's supposed to be the Six of Swords. Got the 7. You couldn't pick that card. If I told you this is a tarot card, you could not guess what card. If I said this is a minor, you know, this is one of the minors, you couldn't. I bet dollars to donuts you couldn't guess what card that was supposed to be. This does not feel like the 7 whatsoever. Not at all. So we've got 8. No, that once again, that does not look like an 8. Doesn't feel like an 8. Once again, if I said, hey, this is a tarot card, guess the card, your first 3 guesses wouldn't be the 8 of Swords. I'm sorry, that it just wouldn't. So we've got the 9. Alright, that looks... person's on a bed, not asleep. But, yeah, that's just not the feel at all. Not at all. So now you've got 10 of Swords, one of the negative cards. And you've got a woman taking a bow on stage. Okay, fine. Once again, that's nowhere near. Once again, hey, this is a card. Hey, this is a tarot card. Can you guess what it is? Wrong. 10 of Swords. No, not at all. So, he doesn't look like his head doesn't look like it suits the body. That doesn't have the feel of a page. I'm sorry, does not feel right. That kind of works for the Knight of Swords. I'm good with that. Knights are very tricky to get wrong, which is why I'm surprised I managed it. But well, okay. In all fairness, the Knight of Wands isn't always an easy one to depict, so I should be a bit fair on that one. But now with the Queen, no. Once again, this deck's just kind of doing their own thing at this point. You can tell that's the Queen. You've got the butterflies. You couldn't tell that she's a widow. They're just at this point they're just doing their own thing. Oh look, there's Michael. Right, Michael, how's it going? You're just there. Cool. Right, now we have Ariel or Ariel. Cool. So we are now looking at the coins, I believe. Yep, that's weird. That's kind of strange. And she's just like, all right, mate, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't have had that 3rd tequila, eh? Or maybe he's just trying to impress her. I mean, she's pretty, but yeah, that's a bit much for a 2 of coins, personally. So we've got 3. Doesn't really look like they're working on anything. They're just there. Artwork feels a bit thematically, it feels a bit inconsistent to me there. Let's see. Next we've got the 4 of coins. Same principle. They're just kind of doing their own thing at this point. Nothing really feels. Once again, I couldn't. If I said this is a tarot card, you couldn't name it. There's a bit of money in the corner, but it doesn't imply anything about it. And Ariel's just there, just like looking at the gold. 5. Inspire Church, and that's about it. Not really getting the same vibe. You can tell this is supposed to be a tarot at least. So next we have the 6. So this is usually about generosity. This just feels like a whole waste of fruit. You know, hey, this is the 6 of coins. Look at all the charity that's going to waste. Or maybe that's just like a comment on late stage capitalism. Who knows? Well, there's a description at the bottom, but now we've got the 7. That doesn't I get what they're kind of going for, but I don't get why he has the staff in the book when he's supposed to be tending a field. And Ariel's just like standing there chilling, not really doing much. Then we have the 8 of Coins. Once again, that's vague study, but not really hard study. Close, but not quite, from what I can gather. I mean, as I said before, tarot decks tend to do their own thing and kind of go for their own themes, but none of these feel quite right to me. So I've got the 9 of Coins. This is nowhere near anything that I'm used to seeing for the 9 of Coins. Once again, nice rainbow, a bigger rainbow than earlier. I'm here for that rainbow. But yeah, this doesn't have the same qualities as the standard. I know I shouldn't really be judging them on their own standard, but when you kind of get used to certain types of decks over the years, you do kind of feel that you look at a card and just think, really? Why did you do it this way? Did you really? Is this bit supposed to intend? Intention's always kind of fuzzy and grey, really. But then you've got the 10 of Coins, close. People sitting around, not really doing much, networking. So yeah, that tracks. So we've got the page about learning. That's pretty good. A nice little library, loads of books, nice artwork. I'm here for that. Then you've got the Knight. Yep, that's quite close to the Knight. A heavy workhorse. Ariel just playing with coins because easily distracted, I guess. Like shiny things. Then we've got the Queen. Yeah, she looks pretty good. Quite well off. Looks like she's doing well for herself. Looks pretty good. Finally, we have the King, who I don't know, kind of looks like a bit of a playboy. Looks pretty cool. I like his attire. That his face doesn't quite match the body, but not as much as an uncanny way as usual as the others. But yeah, that's yeah, it's not too bad. All right, so. That's been an unboxing. It's been quite a while since I've done one of these. So overall, I'd probably say that it's a card deck for beginners, but not necessarily one that people might want to use as a main deck. But it is still kind of a nice thing to get into if you like the art style. Not a big fan of it myself. But yeah, so once again, thank you all for watching. It's been a hot minute since my last video, but I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll catch you all on the flip side.